This is the exact step-by-step process that I use for online coaches to 2x their business within literally 30 days. Now, if your main goal and all your focus is on generating 10 calls a day every single day on autopilot, then just click off this video. Don't watch this. This is not the video for you. Okay. Now, on the other hand, if you want to scale effectively and you want to do it without generating any new leads, spending more on marketing or pushing out more content than ever, then watch this video because I'm going to break down everything when it comes to your sales process. Okay. Now, before I get into all the technical stuff, I just want to show you a few results. I'm not going to go super in depth in these results. I just list a few. First, Chris Valdes, he was stuck at 20, 30K a month. We came in, fixed all his sales process, went to 60K a month within the first month. Okay, Sati, he was closing at 3K a month as a closer, and now he's collecting 250K cash every single month. Nero Knowledge, I'm sure you know, a few of you already know this guy. He's really big on YouTube. He went from 40K to 150K per month by rebuilding his entire sales process. Amaan, again, closer, he was closing under 3K a month. Now he's collecting 200K every single month. Bonney, he was closing 3K a month with his agency. Now he's closing 20K a month. He went from 15% close rate to 52% close rate on full cold traffic. Raphael, he went from 40K a month to 80K a month for his 10K offer. We helped with his objection handling and his full sales call frameworks. Charlie, he was closing at 5K a month as a close. He had super average skills. Now he's closing at 45% on his offers and collecting 150K per month every single month for his offers. And then Colin is a sales manager. He went from making 6K a month for his company to now making 150K per month for his company by fixing the sales process for the team and managing them as well. Now, I'm going to show you the difference between a bad sales process and a great sales process. Okay, I'll break down the numbers and show you how much it can actually affect your business by having an effective sales process just built in within your business without taking any more calls than you're taking now. Okay, let's look at the bad sales process first. Let's say you take 60 sales calls a month. That's 2-3 calls a day, super average. With a 60% show up rate, you'll take 30 live sales calls every single month, meaning that you've missed out on 24 sales calls a month. That's a lot, especially if you're paying for these leads. Now, with a 20% close rate, you close 7 of these deals, meaning that on a 4K offer, you generated $28,000 in contracted revenue. Now, if you look at a great sales process, if you take 60 sales calls a month and 80% of these people show up to the call, so 20% more, then that means then you're taking 48 live sales calls a month, which is 12 more than what you're taking on now. Now, instead of closing at 20%, we close at 35%. That means that we've closed 17 deals instead of 7. So that means that you've closed 10 more deals without any new leads, any new marketing, just by fixing your sales process. So on the same 4K offer, you've made $68,000 in contracted revenue, which is, not exactly what it's nearly 3xing your business within a month, without any new leads, any new marketing, just fixing your sales process. Okay, now the question is how? There are 2 parts to the system. Okay, the first is the actual on-call sales process, the scripting, discovery, objection handling, pitching, and all those things on the sales call. That's what we call the PUG sales framework. Okay, PUG meaning problem, urgency, gap. Now, problem meaning what can our company solve for you? Urgency meaning why make these changes now? Why now instead of just pushing it off and making these changes later? And then the gap, which is where are you now? Where do you want to be? What's the difference and how big the gap is? Now, we need to create these gaps and these urgencies and these problems as big as possible on your sales calls. Okay. When it comes to the process, we use a hyper efficient process, which is 4 steps plus 1. You'll see why in the end. But the first step is to build your pre-call process. Nobody does this. Okay. Nobody. And it's so crucial. This is the part where you build trust and you show these prospects that you're a professional and that you're going to get them a lot of results. Now, we need to build this trust. How are we building this trust? First is by creating sales assets. Sales assets are so crucial when it comes to your online business. This is how people can see that you're really good at a lot of things. Now, sales assets are actually objection handling. Because let's say you have a marketing agency. What is your ICP's problem? Not being able to run ads, having bad leads, maybe sales. So you're going to make sales assets around all these topics and basically give them all the value about what you do before hopping on the call. You need to answer all their questions. Okay, how do I close more deals? How do I get more qualified leads? How do I run ads? You answer them in videos and sales assets even before they hop on a call. So it's going to be tremendous trust. They trust you. They know that you're a professional and there's social proof because you show them results. Now, So the first thing that you're gonna do is create sales assets, 2 to 4 sales assets that we're gonna use in email workflows. Okay, the second step is to create personalized email workflows, reminders. Okay, you know all these like default Calendly, reminders that the Calendly has. Don't use them. Okay, don't use them. I think there's like 4 default Calendly reminders. We're gonna make 10, 6 emails and 4 SMS workflows. Super crucial. Within these workflows, you need to sound authentic. So you can't really make it sound like a reminder. You need to make it sound like you're sending these messages to them personally, and you customize these messages. Okay, it needs to sound like you're sending it to them personally. Now, once you have the sales assets, once you have all these personalized, reminders from, for email and SMS, then that's the nurturing process. Okay, the more content and the more personalized reminders they get, the higher the chance that they're gonna show up. Why? Because they trust you, they consume your content, and they genuinely feel like that this call is gonna help them get to their goal because they know that you know what you're doing because of the sales assets and because of the reminders. Next step, we're going to build and record a VOL. The VOL is basically a video offer letter that's a 15 to 20 minute video explaining everything about your offer. So by the time your prospect hops on a call with you, they know everything about you and your process. It's super crucial. It's going to help you for show up rate and your close rate as well. Show up rate meaning if they see your full process before even hopping on the call and you go through all their problems, then they're going to show up to the call because you answer their problems. And how it's going to help you on the call is first, again, more trust, more social proof, more credibility, and then with the pitch, like you don't have to pitch as much because they already know everything about your process because you've broken down everything prior to the call and they've seen your whole process. So you don't have to like over pitch and over explain yourself on the sales call. Now, once that's done, they book in the call, they watch all these assets. We're going to create a customized confirmation page. When someone books in a call with you and you get sent to like a page saying like, thank you for scheduling in the call. We're not going to do that. Okay, again, that's the default Calendly page. What we're going to do is we're going to create a brand new landing page with a quick video explaining. It's like a 3 to 5 minute video where you explain everything in terms of what's going to happen on the call. I'm going to walk you through this. I'm going to ask you a quick question. It's not going to be a pressure call. You're not going to pressure you into anything. And then within the same video, you need to give them next steps. Okay, you need to tell them that you're going to send them emails and that they need to watch the content within the emails. Super crucial. Because then they know that if they want to be 100% prepared for the call, they need to watch 2 to 3 videos, which again is going to create trust because you're solving their problems. And on the same page, under the actual video, the confirmation video, you're going to insert a lot of testimonials and case studies so that they can scroll through them and see your social proof. Again, trust. Just making them watch as much of your content and as much of your results as possible. Now, the second step, once everything pre-call is optimized, we're going to optimize the on-call process, which is basically the PUG framework. Now, when it comes to the PUG framework, the first thing that we're going to look at is your pitch. Okay, we're going to create an offer-based custom pitch because the one that you got from your friend is probably not good. I know that in the space, everybody's just asking for pitches from their best friends. It's not a good pitch, okay? A pitch can't sound the exact same 2 times. Okay, your pitch needs to be customized every single time based on the sales call that you had with the prospect. The reason why we have the discovery phase, I'm not even kidding, the discovery phase is for your pitch. Everything that you get from your discovery questions, all those, 10, 12 questions that you ask, the reason why you ask them is to turn those answers into your pitch. Okay, their problems, their desires, their fears, their current situation. You're going to use all of that fuel, all of that information to create the pitch. Every single pitch is going to be customized. Of course, you have like a framework of what you're going to follow, which is benefits, mechanisms, and deliverables, but it needs to be specifically personalized. Okay, benefits. Let's say you have a marketing agency. Within the benefits, you're not going to talk anything about your process. Benefits is only to talk about their desires and what you're going to have them achieve. Because in sales, you're not going to sell your process and the journey. You're going to sell the end goal. You're going to sell the desires, the money that they're going to make, the freedom that they're going to have. Okay, so in benefits, let's say 2, we usually go for 2 benefits. That's like the sweet spot. You can go for 2, 3, but never go for 1. Go for 2 or 3 benefits every single time on your sales calls. For a marketing agency, it could be freedom. First benefit, they They don't have to work a lot. They can, work like 2 hours a day, and they can make 30K a month and just live their life, go travel, go to Bali, give back to the family, like freedom and it's all. And the second benefit could be just money. We're going to get you to X amount of money within the next 40 days. So money and speed. These can be your benefits. Now, you should talk about benefits for like 2 minutes. You don't need to do any longer, but you should only talk about their desires that you got from discovery, nothing else. Mechanism, this is where you break down your entire process. Okay, this is where you break down your step-by-step process. Don't go too in depth because nobody cares about your process, to be honest. I would say benefits is like 80% of your pitch because that's what people care about, the end outcome. Nobody cares about the journey. Like if you told me, hey, Dom, you can make 500K in the next month by doing this thing, sign me up. I don't care what it is. Just tell me what I need to do, and I'm happy to do it. So mechanism, just go like super surface level, explain them your process just enough so they understand it, and that should be enough. And then deliverables is basically just list them everything that they're gonna get. You have access to our course, you have access to 4 coaching calls a week, you'll have access to the founder and his phone number, you'll have access to a workshop, like what they're gonna have access to once they pay the invoice. Once the pitch is done, then we're going to look at your discovery process, okay? We're going to use the PARC framework. So we have current state, desire, and fear. In current state, we get all the gap, where they are now, where they want to be. We get the problems, and we get all this technical information. In desire, we talk about why they are doing this, what the goal is once they get to the goal, how is it going to change their life. Just get a super deep understanding on why they are doing this. And then fear state, what's going to happen if you don't make the changes. Okay, let's say if you can make more money, if you can be in the best shape of your life, if you can't lose the weight, what's going to happen long term? How is it going to affect your life? So everything when it comes to fear. And then obviously objection handling, just like being able to handle objections, cut through the bullshit, just being able to realize what's a real objection and what's a fake objection, handling these objections super smoothly. Okay, so when I say objection handling, we're not going to use like a super hard script. No, we're using a conversational framework, which is understanding the prospect's logic, coming up with a better logic than their logic, and then handling it that way, closing the door on their logic and moving forward, getting to the next objection, getting to the next fear, their finances, and really just handling everything properly with zero kind of like pressure. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do on the call. Now, once you hop off the call, let's say the prospect didn't close, it's not gonna end there. Okay, because there's going to be a lot of leads in your pipeline. So this is where we implement the post-call process. Now, the first when it comes to your post-call process is your follow-up strategy. What do you do when people no-show you? What do you do when people, when people don't close? What do you do when people give you timing objections or financial objections, when they just logically can't do this now because of something coming up for them, or they just don't have the money for it now and they get paid within like a month, for example, or what to do when you disqualify discovery call leads. Everything of follow-up. Okay, follow-up is super important. If you nail down follow-ups, I am sure that if I looked into your business right now, I could close like 5 more deals, like within the next 4 days, just from your pipeline that you have that you're focusing on, because you don't have the follow-up strategy implemented in your business. Now, upselling. I'm not even kidding, guys. For our coaching business, for our where we train closers, 40% of our cash collected every single month, it comes from upselling for our 10K one-on-one upselling offer. Okay. Now, what you can do for upselling is 2 things. First is upsell active clients, which means that let's say you have a program which is 3 months, and as soon as they finish the program, maybe like 2 weeks before they finish the program, you upsell them to the next one. That's the first thing. And the second thing is grabbing your older pipeline. Let's say you've been running ads for 6 months. Okay, let's look at some that's in the pipeline for 6 months ago, and let's upsell those people. Or let's say you had a client 6 months ago and you completely forgot about the client. Maybe they're making a lot of money now. Okay, just hit them up again, like, hey bro, we have this new offer, I think this can help you. Hop on a call with them and pitch them the new offer and close. It's way easier because they've already used your process, they already trust you, and of course if you have them, if your offer is good, then they know that if they work with you again, then they get even better results by upselling. Now, what that's going to do, like upselling, is super crucial, because what that's going to do is increase your lifetime value, your LTV, and of course, you can have a super high close rate on these deals, because these people already know you, they trust you. Like, these are the warmest leads that you'll ever get, because they've already bought something from you before. So upselling is super, super important. Now, nobody talks about these, okay? But the fourth step is building out your backend systems. Super crucial. First thing, tracking. Nobody's tracking everything. Anytime I ask for someone's numbers, they don't know their numbers. You should know all of your numbers, all the percentages, all the booked calls, all the show ups, all the closes, all the cash collected. You should know everything about your own business. So that's why we're going to use tracking sheets for your setters, your closers, and really understand how we can improve on something. The only way you can improve on your business and increase your business and increase your revenue, if you know your numbers, because then you know about what to look at. Like, if I know the close rate is bad, we close at 5%. I know that it's probably your sales process. I know that it's probably your on call process. But if your show up rate is only 35% or 40%, then I know that, okay, it's probably something before the call. So I'm going to look at the pre-call process then. You can only improve on things if you know what to improve on, obviously. Calendly setup. Okay, like I said before, the confirmation page, the all the email reminders, how to set up the questionnaire, like all these things. When it comes to your Calendly, you need to set it up correctly. You need to set it up in the most efficient way possible. And that's what we're going to look at. Sales SOPs, okay? EODs, end of day reports, knowing exactly what your sales team is doing, your KPIs, looking at everything. Okay, we're gonna hit these numbers. Okay, why didn't we hit these numbers? Reports and all the scripts. Okay, super crucial. You need to have SOPs written down for all the sales process that you have in your business. And then automations. You need to make a super, super smooth automation kind of like flow in your business, so everyone knows everything. That's why you use Slack, because in Slack you can make like automations where it shows every single call that's been booked in, every single closed deal that has been closed by the closers, and then every single new payment that comes through, maybe even like recurring payments, new payments. You can track everything with automations. It's going to be way easier in terms of communication, because, for example, the setter is not going to bother you all day like, hey, did my lead close? No, they just go into the Slack channel and they just pick it up for themselves. Okay, my lead closed. I'm just going to put this in my tracking sheet, and you can pay my comms based on that. So it's like zero communication. Everybody knows everything, and you don't have to run to ask for all these numbers, because again, it's stress in your mind that you need to just give them all this information every single day. No, you just set up an automation and they can see it for themselves. And of course, for these automations, you need to optimize your Slack channel, but that's super obvious. And the actual like the plus one step, I didn't want it to make it like a fifth step, but hiring a sales team. If you don't have a sales team already, then hiring one is gonna change your life. Especially if you have like 2 or 3 qualified calls a day and your business is making like 30 to 50K a month, then hiring a sales team is going to be crucial for you. First things first is because of your time. Taking 2, 3, 4 calls a day every single day is taking away so much time out of you being able to scale the company. You can't even imagine it. Like, imagine if you had an extra 3 hours a day that you could allocate towards marketing, getting more leads, fixing your backend systems, having a better, service delivery. That 3 hours a day is going to change your life. And I'd rather you pay an extra 15% in commissions than just take on the extra work, those 3-4 hours a day. So first, the first that we're going to look at is your SDR. Okay, your appointment setter. Having an appointment setter is crucial. Like, setting appointments is the most time-taking activity that you can do in your business. So obviously, these people are trained, especially like if I help you, these guys are trained. We train them specifically. I'm sure that you know at this point that we have a sales coaching program for closers and setters. So we're going to grab those people that we've trained already, and we're going to put it in your business. They are super, super good people, super talented. And the responsibility is going to be to calling leads from your ads, for example, if you have opt-ins, just confirming these people or messaging them on just IG. And the main reason for this is to qualify prospects. Okay. Now, what you don't want to do is talk to people that are unqualified. Like if you have 10 calls a day, but 6 of them are unqualified, you're wasting 6 hours a day out of your life talking to people that you shouldn't be talking to. So even if you have like 10 calls a day, but your setter disqualifies 6 of them, that's gonna save you so much time and headache just by having quality prospects in your sales calls, that it's gonna make your life way more easier and way more simpler. And of course, once they qualify these prospects, once they confirm the calls, then they book it in for the closers, and then we're gonna get into the closers. Again, the closers, same thing as the SDR, the setter, already trained, super good at handling objections, super good at just creating a big gap in discovery, and they know how to pitch. Like these guys, they're like insane at pitching. And of course, their responsibility is going to be to hop on the Zoom calls that the SDR has already booked in, close the deals, and handling all the follow-ups. Now, a lot of closers don't do this because they haven't been trained on this, but follow-ups are super crucial. Like Charlie, the guy that I showed you, Charlie, he's making like, I don't know, like $500 every single day in commissions just because of his follow-ups. He's always sending us messages like, "Hey boys, just close another follow-up call." And I'm like, Jesus, and nobody's doing follow-ups. Like from follow-ups, you can make like an extra 50K a month for your business if you do it correctly. So that's the process in a nutshell. If you want to see exactly how this works, then click on the link below. It's a calendar page where you can talk to me or my business partner Tim, and we'll see if we can help you. And yeah, I'll see you on the call. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this has given you some clarity on how this whole thing works. And then yeah, I'll see you in the next video.